All right, folks, good afternoon and welcome on back here this Tuesday, June 28th. Shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, markets are breaking lower here heading into this afternoon meeting. Great to see Levitan, Michael, Norman. And I'll tell you what, folks, for all of us just rejoining us here otherwise, great to see everybody, especially those of us on social media, Facebook Live or YouTube joining us today. But we said it earlier, and I'll repeat it for all of us in social right now. But, I love days like today. I love them. Markets are tanking. I love it. Why? Because this proves our point as day traders here, at least inside the Cybergroup trading room, to a T. Because although the markets are tanking and breaking lower right now, or beginning to, AGRX, at least from earlier today and even just before heading into this meeting, at least, has been a really nice runner. So you can't tell me that for those of us that can't short or look to follow the market on the way down, at least if you're trading IRA or cash only, it's to say that, hey, this proves the fact that you can make money. You got to be there at the right place, the right time. You got to work together as a team, whether it's with a larger group of people or a smaller group of people like us inside the live trading room. And when I say smaller, there's like 100 of us inside here. But comparing that to like some like the bigger trading rooms that you may know, it's like there's not as much of an advantage there. Like here is like so primed to just be inside the trading room. See a lot of our experienced traders like Gene, Ron, Michael, Leda, actually all of those that just chatted back to me right there. Those are some of our longtime students who've been around the block with us. Norman too, and some of our more recent students, but very successful as they've been proven to be inside the trading room, like Robert or John or Steve. So it's to say, hey, there's a lot of opportunity, but you can't do it on your own. You got to work with a group, a smaller group perhaps, like we have here. So it's to say AGRX right now, I don't like the shake, right? I mean, the shake back down off these highs is pretty violent. Leads me to think that this might look to kind of just pull back further here heading into the afternoon. So I'm not fully committed to it here at this point. Actually, yesterday afternoon, we had a dud list. It was actually very unfortunate. Nothing really was moving too well. Granted, markets were beginning to pull back then, but like AMC was flat. CLVS didn't make the move that we wanted it to make, SRRK, and like we actually had a shutout on the watch list yesterday afternoon. So, this could be in play. Maybe this does build support later on, but not fully committed to it just yet. So we don't have class this afternoon, folks. That's for tomorrow for all of us live inside the trading room. Any of our gold, platinum, or diamond students like Michael or Leda perhaps there. Fausto will be doing the phase 3 stock course class tomorrow, but let's still go right from top to bottom. Let's see what we could do, here heading into the afternoon. The AGRX is a maybe. We got a bunch of these cheapies below $1 here on the gainer side, like Tor, HTGM, ENDP. Let's skip over them for right now. Now, with that in mind, KZR, what a dud this has been. Unless if you were able to short it. It's hard to borrow on TradeStation. I didn't care to check to get shares, and maybe that was to my disadvantage. But ended up dropping off as soon as the market opened, and I had a couple of support levels that I was hoping to see hold. And I'm not just relying on hope. I'm not currently in this trade, as you could see, but I did get chopped up just a little bit earlier in the afternoon. I had a pretty good morning, not as good as yesterday, perhaps. Yesterday was like incredible to me. Today's all right. I'm still up, but I know I'm not going to really hit my goal, at least for the afternoon. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Maybe we'll see. But, if I don't hit it, it's all right. But I did get chopped up earlier, which gave back some of the profit I made from this morning. On KZR, I was looking for support to hold off of 9. And then also I was writing in the trading room like a fib level I had off of 873 or 877, something around there. And you could see there it was trying. It was trying here. And then once it ended up breaking back below that fib line, I took my third loss in a row on it. Tiny losses, but they add up. And then from there, I stopped trading it, and thank God I did. But right now, I mean, don't hold your breath waiting for a squeeze back up today. I mean, there's not really a clear support level on this, in my opinion, at least until 8. And then, otherwise, I was really lining up like 750. So this might have a way more, downside left before a potential bounce. So again, not fully sold on this KZR. Gray from earlier today, a little pop-up from this morning, but not a whole lot to it after that, right? STRO, look at this thing go. And obviously I meant for that to rhyme, but nice little pop from this morning. Actually, this thing had a bunch of activity in pre-market this morning, like early on. So, ended up like moving up as high as like 6 or up as high as like 730ish, you can kind of call that. Now from there, it ended up dropping off and took a while for this to, pop to even come to fruition. But, right now you hope to see a lot more of this to come. So, Stro here, I'll put on our watch list just to respect this pop. But also on the flip side of it, actually, I know that the HERX is hard to borrow, KZR is hard to borrow for me, but this one I know is shortable. So let's say if this is like a false pop, like a fake pop here coming up, at least I know I could short it. Check with your broker to see if you can get the shares if it's a false break at least. But I'll respect the pop, the breakout here right now on Stro. I'll put this on our list. Looks good. Got my notepad, so I got to write this down on like a browser window here. So if I delete it, I'll get pretty pissed. Let's see what else we got here in the meantime. CRNT. This is like more of like a level 1 stock, level 1 or 2, which, for a lot of our newly enrolled students, it's pretty good. But right now, specifically right now, this time here, it's not doing anything. So, it could be a good short should we see more selling and should this dip down a little bit more. But let's see what else we got here. Same to be said on Wejo, I'm sure. I haven't checked in on Wejo in a little bit, but from pre-market this morning, it made a nice move to begin, but then ended up dipping off heading into the open, flattened out, and I was interested, but then it teased me, so I didn't trade this at all. But I ended up moving away from this once the market did open, and then from there, I didn't really look at it. Dropped off down to like 125, then bounced back up, I guess here, but otherwise, not a whole lot to it right now. Not going to find a whole lot on the gainer side, folks, right? We always like to say that on days like today. I didn't mean to click anywhere there. How about UVXY? I see SQQQ up here. Of course, the inverse ETFs or the VIX ETFs nonetheless will be up. So this here is actually SQQQ, so inversely follows NASDAQ 100 or the Qs ETF. Obviously this is at the highs here. So I assume UVXY to be doing the same. I'll likely put the spotlight on UVXY, but SQQQ, I know a bunch of us trade inside our live trading room here. So, for right now, if the market's dropping off, we'll focus on one of these. All right, let's see what else we got here. Probably not a whole lot left, right, on the gainer side. I'll just quickly click on NCTY from earlier. Not a whole lot happening right now. AERC, I see, is up like 6% still, and Blue Apron. So, there's a couple more left I do want to check out. A couple of stocks like these made some good moves from earlier this morning or afternoon. So, AERC, at least you could see here, ended up making a nice pop after the open. But what you're seeing here is exactly why I call this stock a gamble stock, right? I think I said that yesterday afternoon, this time of the day. This is not like a casino stock, but this is like you're risking your life on this stock. So, if you didn't realize that before today, I hope this is a good reminder, right? A lot of these small cap, low float stocks, they'll make these big drop offs like this. It's, really dangerous to swing trade. Same with Blue Apron, unfortunately. I haven't checked in on this one since the lower high. It was moving back up to 4, but I expected 4 to hold at first, but that's a nasty drop. So I think Blue Apron is more of a mid cap float, maybe low to mid cap, but not as low as the others, these pop and drops. But Blue Apron right now, I mean, hey, I'm sure it's tradable, but given the drop off that we had here, I'm not as interested in it right now. So. All right, let's see what else we got here on the loser side. It's interesting. LYT here. This thing got clipped. I have no idea what happened here, at least across the afternoon, as to why it's down like 84%. It was down a lot more from earlier. It was getting close to like 90% at one point. But, stock took a huge hit from the market open, got halted probably 20 times here, got halted to oblivion. You could see just every little white horizontal dash on the 1-minute chart. Those are all halts. So with that, I took a trade on this, and this gave me a little money back, at least from earlier after I got clipped on KZR. So fortunately, I got in this at the right time, and given how thin the book is right now, this is definitely a bit of a gamble stock. but given how much it dropped off, you hope to see some form of a dead cat bounce. So I ended up attending to this trade like right before I ended up leaving the office here for the day. I'm working from my home office right now, and ended up seeing it begin to squeeze back up. I wanted it to drop lower down to 480. I had a order out there just to try and catch it at 480. Uh, it's pretty low even from where it bottomed out at, but ended up squeezing back up. And then once it ended up getting halted going up, I ended up jumping in off of 630, and it took a little while for it to break, but fortunately I got in like kind of towards the tail end here as it was beginning to break back over 630, and with that ended up leading to a pretty nice run. Granted, it wasn't on like a full share count, but this is the type of stock, hey, given how much it dropped from like 40 or 50 bucks all the way down at near 5. Come on now. So, if it's not going to break any lower, there's only one other way it's going to go, right? So I'm not in this for like a 5-cent profit, 10, 15-cent profit. I'm looking to make like $1 or $2 at that. So it ended up squeezing up pretty nicely at first, had one shake to it, but squeezed up pretty nicely. And then I ended up getting out just under 750 and then moved up a lot more afterwards. I knew it was on a steady trend. But the thing with these types of stocks, I mean, we just said it before in AERC. Same to be said on this one. Just on a short squeeze, on a dead cat bounce, whatever the hell we're calling this. It's just to say, when the volume dies off, so does the stock. This thing ended up dropping off a lot faster compared to, the pace it moved up in. So, you need to be very careful, and you have to make sure that you get in at a very good time and price and set your stop. And, that's easy to say, I'm sure. I'm sure that's easy to say. But if you know your levels, then it gives you a pretty good edge, right? Level 3, level 4 gives you a good ability for that. So actually, how about this? I had this prepped up on my other screen, ready to go, but I get lost in my own flow here, and I go off a bit. So you can see the LYT trade. I did bring up Bookmap for all of us here during this meeting. I wanted to do this. So this is where it ended up beginning to squeeze up, and over time, 630 was a pretty big level to watch here. Right, a lot of pent up volume, getting filled around 625, 630, and with that, just once it broke the iceberg order, I ended up jumping in shortly after, and it led to a nice run. So from there, that's where I got my squeeze. But across the afternoon right now, I'll put this on our watch list given how much it's still down. Perhaps there could still be room for this to, make one more run. But when the volume dies off, this thing will tank and it will get halted going down again. And, you don't want to get caught on that side of the trade. So LYT I'll put on our list here. So far, we only have three symbols on our list, and one of them is an ETF. So, unless if the market's dead cat bounce altogether here, we got to find a lot more from the loser side that is a good short that could, follow the market here going down. CVNA, Mark, if he's still here. I know he dipped out. He made his day's pay earlier actually on the SQQQ trade. But CVNA has been a big fan of lately. This stock is shortable. It's down big. It just dropped off to make a new low earlier, bottomed out off of 25 perhaps here, but still very active. So, you know what? I like this one for right now. CVNA. Water break in between here, folks. 1 second. It's been a long week of talking already, and it's not even class week, so pretty interesting. But well, for Fausto it is, not me. But nonetheless, we go. Real, a little cheap here on the way down, even if it is shortable. Not really a fan of shorting like a $2 stock, $3 stock, and so unless it was dropping off really fast and making a big move, then I'm not going to have as much business with it. FNGU here, I think, is an ETF. I could be wrong. Yeah, it is. ETN. All right, folks, let me know if there's anything else that looks good up or down. Type it in the chat board here. Let me know. Got my NEO trade I was in on earlier, right off of 22.55 for all of our students and members inside the live trading room. We had traders talk earlier today. You heard me talk about it. I literally went over this trade and talked about from last week. We had like a 10 million share, 9.1 million share volume spike at 22.55. So, from earlier today, this was my bread and butter stock, and I ended up shorting this from like 23.17, but ended up dropping off greatly, and I took most of the meat off the bone there. But from that point, once it rebounded, I ended up going short right from 22.55. 22.54 is my price. And from there, just pretty simple short, right? So it just goes to show like what you hear in traders talk, what we talk about as a group, even the questions that we answer as a group, it pays off, right? So that recording is actually already on the student portal. I kind of mucked up last week, and I ended up forgetting to put it up for that Tuesday. So I had to put up a couple days after. So that was my fault. Hand up. I wanted to make it up to you. And it's already up on the dashboard right now, the student portal. So, for anyone that missed out on our weekly workshop earlier today, Traders Talk, you could actually watch that. Just go right to the homepage. All right, so for right now, NEO, right now, this thing is down like 2.5%, not a whole lot, and it's beginning to inch back up a little bit here. So, I'm not really too interested in it right now. I mean, from the morning I was, but not as much right now. AMC, hey, we ended up calling this out yesterday early on. We were really early to the punch on this trade yesterday. Thankfully, it ran up greatly at the time, and for right now, it dropped off after the market opened up, but same to be said here as NEO. It's just like kind of sideless stock, not a whole lot to it there. American Airlines. All right, this thing's not down a whole lot percentage-wise, but obviously has a great direction right now, much closer to the lows compared to anything that we've looked at so far. Airline sector has been getting beat up here. I always wish there was like a cruise line ETF. I don't think there is. But NCLH for right now, NCLH dropping off, essentially making the same type of move. Just a lot of these you could look to try and rely on as like general market movers. An auto stock like GM, that stock I've been more interested in lately. It's becoming more within my price range of late. But, this thing's been dropping off pretty nicely across the day today with the market. I'm sure you could say same to be said on Ford. Ford's a little too slow for my blood, though. Is like an $11 stock. This is how like which one was it just before the cheapie that was shortable to begin? I think the real stock here. This is like real. I'd rather trade real than Ford, just given the pace, right? Basically moving the same. All right, so for right now, actually, that GM stock I like, and maybe I just kind of collectively write Air and C stocks all together, just group them up as a bunch. That's pretty much it, folks. We ran through across the gainers and losers list. If there's anything else that looks great or anything that we just like missed or popping right now suddenly by any chance, type it in the chat board. Let me know. I mean, I'm all ears. Yehuda says ENDP cheapie moving. So I skipped over that at first just because it was a cheapie, but it is pushing back up. I respect it. And not only do I respect it because it's a stock that we are really familiar with here, as a group, just over the years. Like, just even if you're a new student, just so you know, over the like many years, like 5 to 8 years that I've been here, been here 8 years, but like 5 to 8 years, that range, like we've been trading ENDP quite frequently off of news or earnings. This thing got clobbered over the last year and a half or so, but making a nice squeeze up here. So hey, if we've been looking for these short squeezes or dead cat bounces on like CLVS and all these others, PEV, REV, AERC, etc. Well, why not look for it here, ENDP? So you know what, I like it for right now. The endo trade. John says OOTO. Oh, that's right. You had mentioned that, John. I think. Oh no, you brought up the what was it? The uranium one, I think. OOTO. You're saying OOTO is the direction daily travel ETF altogether. Gotcha. Okay, cool to know. Hey, so if you want to follow any sort of travel or vacation type of stocks here, the more you know here. Obviously, a very spotty chart day trading wise, but you could just follow this perhaps for like the cruise lines, maybe. The more you know. RJF on YouTube says KZR so disappointing. I agree. I completely agree. But you know what I'm not going to do though, RJF? I'm not going to like keep focused on it across the afternoon. I think it's just kind of right in between my levels here that I have from my other chart. So, it already dropped down to 8. How about that? So this thing is already down to 8 now. Wow. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. This thing dropped off quite a bit after we started the meeting. So if it already breaks under and over from 8 and then looks to make the push, maybe now we do look to put it on our list. I thought it was still kind of around like 840-ish, like 820-ish, kind of lingering around there. This thing already shook under and over 8. Give it space, give it time. But if this could build over 8 here, you know what? It's the next whole number down, right? After 9 comes 8. 10 was a big level. 12 was a key level. 13 was a key level from the after hours yesterday. Hey, it can keep going, but let's see it slowly build this support over 8. Then by 3:30, we see a big spike. Now, actually, even more than anything, I'm going to put this on our watch list. I don't know if you folks see what I see, but on time and sales, I see a 750,000 share. It has to be a dark pool print filled off of 805, filled at the ask. I'd say that is a ton of buying / short covering. So with that, I would be pretty interested in seeing if this could begin to build over 8 to 805 and then run up heading into the close. So you know what? I'll give this one more chance. I took a break from this after I got chopped out around 12:30, 1 o'clock. But you know what? I'll put this on our list here, right? Looks a little bit more interesting now after seeing that, 750,000 share print filled. So KZR one more time. Mark says AGRX pop. How about that? So I said I was going to come back to maybe 1 or 2 of these here at the end. AGRX, hey, this ended up making a nasty shake just a moment ago, but I appreciate the call out from Mark because it's well timed and, trying to make that squeeze. Let's see if this can keep going. I'll put this back on our list. Put this back on the top. If it ends up breaking lower, then obviously I'd say move on. But, nice little continued move here for right now. You have a 78,000 share iceberg order on the ask at 280, just 2 pennies off the high of the day there. So just be mindful of that. The high of the day is pretty strong, it seems, right off that 280, 282. All right, folks, for right now, we're going to wrap up. I'm like 8 or 7 minutes shy from a coaching call with one of our students. Want to make sure that they get the link and they're good to go. But I'll be back on the mic for all of us like Mark, Leda, Yehuda, Carol, Gene, and Michael and all of us just live inside the trading room coming up at 3:30. For all of us on YouTube and Facebook Live, I appreciate you folks sticking with me each and every day, each and every afternoon. Any questions that you have, I answered back a couple of us actually from yesterday and the day before. So if any questions that you folks have, come in, please let me know. Anything to do with our meetings, our call outs, stock trading or crypto trading education, send it over to josh@c2trading.com. That's my email address right there again. Or if you wanted to join us inside our live trading room, feel more than free to do so. Then just going right down to the link on the yellow banner below right there on the stream just to get yourself started. But for all of us live there right now, I look forward to talking to you folks just coming up at 3:30. Take care.
Become a Cyber Group member today. Just click the link below and receive all these amazing products and a world of knowledge for just $9. Do it today.